So the awesome thing about Waves Clarity is that it allows you to remove any of the ambience or stray noise that is in a track that has vocals. So you can use Clarity VX to basically take out all the instrumentation from a song. So let me just give you a quick example. So I mean, it's extremely powerful for what it can do. But what if you want to do the opposite? What if you want to get rid of the vocals in the track? What are your options then? So the only option that I was aware of before I made this video was you needed to upgrade to Waves Clarity Pro, which allows you to actually do the reverse and then extract just the ambience. Let me show you what that sounds like. Which is pretty amazing that it can do that, right? Here's the problem. Waves Clarity Pro is like $250 when it's on sale. Normally, it's like $450. Now, that price point is not really accessible to a lot of people, and I know there's many, many people out there that want that kind of functionality, but at the cheaper price point, like $30, which is what Waves Clarity typically sells for when it's on sale. So I've figured out a workaround that you can use to do exactly this, to extract the vocals and leave just the instrumental or just the ambience using the original Waves Clarity VX. Hey, what's going on? My name is Bobby Balo, and I'm the mixing and mastering engineer at Raytown Productions. And this channel is dedicated to helping you make better sounding music without needing to spend a ton of money on expensive gear or unnecessary plugins. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to hit that subscribe button because I drop new videos every single week to help you level up the quality of your music, and you do not want to miss that. And as a thank you for hanging out with me today, I have a gift for you. In the description, I have my favorite free mixing and mastering plugins guide. So if you are looking for some new plugins to inspire you, or you just need some more samples, this is pretty much everything you could possibly need, and it doesn't cost you anything. It's totally free, and these are all plugins that I use all the time when I'm mixing and mastering music professionally, so I know they sound great. So if that sounds interesting to you, check out the link in the description. The first track is a hip-hop track by an artist called Devin Kash. It was recorded by my good friend Josh Holland. And the second track is a pop-punk song by a band called In Your Memory, and that was recorded and mixed by my good buddy Dave Andreas. So I have links to both these songs in the description if you want to get more information. Okay, so how can we possibly use Clarity to extract just the instrumental or the ambience of a track, right? There's no way to do it. All we can get is the vocals, but that is the key. So by knowing a little bit about digital signal processing and science, we can use just the vocals to cancel them out in the original track. Let me show you how to do this. So the first step is we need to use Waves Clarity VX to isolate the vocals the best we possibly can. So let's try to do that now. So usually having this turned all the way to 100 is probably the best setting because it's going to give us maximum rejection of everything else in the mix. But we do want to find a spot where we are getting some of those high frequencies, and it's okay to have a little bit of the beat or whatever in the background or the ambience. Be sure to change the neural network because these can make a big difference. But typically for this trick I'm showing you today, you're going to want it on broad 2. And if it's a stereo track, probably want the analysis on double. It just kind of helps the algorithm figure out what's going on in a stereo field. Okay? Once we have the vocals isolated with this plugin, sounds pretty good. We're just going to render the track down. Okay? So we're just going to print this plugin onto the original track. So we're going to end up with a file that has just the vocals. Okay, let's see what we have here. Let me just play this new rendered file. So it sounds like a vocal, right? It's not super high quality, but that's okay because we literally extracted it from a completed song, which is mind-boggling that Waves can even do that. So now the secret to how this all works is that we have just the vocals, and then we have the vocals plus everything else in the mix. And there's a really cool strategy that you can do where you phase cancel 2 tracks. What that means is that we'll invert the polarity of the vocal track that we just made. So it's really easy. In almost any DAW, you can do this. You're just going to go to something called invert phase or invert polarity. You click that. Now, what's cool about inverting the polarity is it doesn't change the sound at all. We can't hear that difference in the polarity inversion. But what it does is it takes any of the sound waves that are going up and makes them go down. And anything that's going down now goes up. So when we add this vocal track that's inverted to the original file, we're going to get a cancellation of the vocals exclusively from that original track. It's pretty crazy. And we can use the volume of this vocal extracted track to help us dial in the amount of cancellation we want to get from the vocals. So we'll go back to our original track. Let me solo this. We're going to take waves clarity off, and we'll listen to the instrumental, and we'll listen to the original track. Okay, we'll listen to the extracted but polarity inverted track that we got from clarity. Now watch what happens when we play these two together at exactly the same time. Here we go. I just hear an instrumental, right? Now, if you listen closely, there's a little bit of some vocal artifacts, but going from this to this, like, that's pretty remarkable, right? So this trick works really, really well in hip hop. Now let's try the same thing on a dense pop punk mix, which I think it's a little bit harder to do. So let's just repeat the process really quickly. So let's load up clarity. I'm just gonna dial in the best settings to try to extract the vocals as best possible. All right, that's probably the best we're gonna get. It's not as good as that hip-hop track we did earlier, but let's just go with this and try it out. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing. We're gonna render this to extract just the vocals from that original track. Okay, so let's hear what that sounds like. Never told you, the thing that I always... All right, close enough. So let's take clarity off of that, the full track. Now, if we don't remember to phase invert it, it's not gonna work. Listen. Okay, we have to invert the polarity. So here's another way to do it. There's a phase 180 button here. It's the same exact thing. I'm just showing you 2 different ways you can do this. So now we should be able to cancel out the vocals from the original track. Here we go. So you can hear there's actually some background harmonies that made its way through Waves Clarity plugin. So Waves Clarity wasn't able to detect it because maybe they're distorted or something, but it just couldn't find the voice. So it doesn't work as well as a hip-hop track, but I mean, in terms of needing to extract vocals for some reason out of a dense pop-punk mix, I think this is absolutely remarkable. And on top, I mean, there's like 8 voices at the same time, so it's no wonder Clarity's having a hard time extracting all of these different voices. I know it does a better job when we just have one voice, like in this outro right here. But how cool is that, right? So when you have a chance, give this a shot on your next song and let me know how it worked for you. Just come back here and drop a comment. If you feel like supporting me in this channel, the best thing you can do is just share this video to your friends or to a group on a social network like Facebook or Reddit. If you're interested in checking out Clarity or Clarity Pro, I have links to both these plugins in the description. And when you're in there, also do not forget to download my guide that has all of my favorite free mixing and mastering plugins. I know you're going to find a ton of value from that. I want to thank you for your time and attention today, and I hope to see you in another video.